Well, good morning, folks. Good afternoon or good evening, depending on whereabouts you are. And it is lovely to see you again. And thanks for popping over to check out this very easy, and when I say easy, I do mean easy, Swiss roll recipe. This was the first time that I'd ever done this. So if I can do this, you can definitely do this, because I'm rubbish at baking. So I went snooping on YouTube for a good recipe. So my go-to, if I want something that I know is going to work, I go and look at John Kirkwood. So this is a recipe adapted from his Swiss roll recipe. I have made a couple of changes, just to better suit me, but this is basically his recipe, so I'll just let you know that, and I will link it underneath in the description box. So this is everything that I used here. Just a few very basic ingredients. I've got some eggs, some jam, sugar. I'm using plain flour. I've got a wee bit of vanilla and also a teaspoon of baking powder and some oil as well. But all of the quantities will be in the description box underneath, but I will show you as we go along. So you're going to want a baking tray, quite a flat one. Mine is 13 inches by 9 inches by about half an inch thick. Make sure this is well greased, because this type of sponge has a tendency to stick. Mine didn't stick at all, and I think that is down to the fact that, the tray was so well greased. So use non-stick paper and also give it a good coating of butter as well. Now we're going to get the batter together, really easy. So pop your eggs into a bowl. This is 3 large eggs, followed by 80 grams of sugar. I'm using caster sugar, but any white sugar will do. You want to whisk this for about 3 minutes. You can use a hand blender or a stand mixer, whatever you prefer, just till it goes nice and fluffy like this. Pop in your oil and then the vanilla. And again, just give it a whisk for about a minute, just to make sure everything is incorporated. You'll know your batter is ready when you sort of lift your whisk up and, leave a wee trail. And if the trails disappear after a second, you know that your batter is good to go. So this is perfect. So to that, we're going to add some flour. This is plain flour. Just make sure your dry ingredients are sieved, and then the baking powder, and then a wee touch of salt as well. Run that through a sieve just to catch any lumps. Now you want to very gently fold your dry ingredients into your wet ingredients, and try not to knock the air out, because this is a very light, fluffy, springy and also airy sponge. So you want to try and keep as much air in that as you can. So just gently fold it, and eventually everything will be mixed in. Pop this into your greased baking tray, and don't worry if you think it looks lumpy. It's not lumps, it's actually full of air bubbles. But you do want to pop the larger air bubbles. Just tilt your tin to make sure that your batter gets into all of those corners, or you can use a spatula. If you find your mixture is a bit on the thicker side, you can use a spatula or a spoon, but mine was just the right consistency to be able to get into all those corners just by tilting the pan. Give your pan a wee bang down on your work surface to release some of those air bubbles. And like I said, if you have massive ones like these, just give them a wee pop with your fingers. Pop that into the oven for 15 to 20 minutes, just in the middle of the oven, and that's your temperatures there. You will need some greaseproof paper, a wire rack and some icing sugar as well. Once your cake is ready, get it out and pop some icing sugar on the top. This is going to help prevent it stick. Pop some baking paper on the top, and then grab a wire rack or something similar. Flip the whole thing upside down, so now your wire rack is underneath. And look at that sponge. Oh my goodness, I can't tell you how soft and fine this was, and I was delighted with this. Like I said, it is the first time I've done it. But you can see there with my thumb just how soft and springy that is. It's just incredible. So pop your paper back on, use the clean side down, because this is the side that is going to be on display. Put your tray back on and flip it upside down again, so now your wire rack is back on top. Discard your wire rack, take the paper off, and that is ideal. Don't worry, you think it looks a bit brown on this side, because that is the side that's going to be rolled up, so not to worry. Make sure you get plenty of icing sugar on there, and then just gently roll it up with your paper inside, not too tight, and leave that for about 5 minutes just to cool down slightly. And this is going to act like a kind of memory foam and help keep its shape. And turn your attention to your raspberry jam. I'm using raspberry jam. You can use strawberry or whatever kind you like. This is just what I had. Pop it into the microwave for a few seconds just to warm through. It's just going to make it easier to spread. And then go back to your Swiss roll, gently unroll that. And like I said, I was delighted with this. I was so worried in case it cracked, but it didn't crack at all. So I was amazed, and I didn't want to fool around with that wee bottom bit too much, so I just left that where it was. But I did make sure that the jam was right down and under that wee crevice, just so that when you roll it up, you know, there's none missing. So whirl it back round, and you want to start rolling again from the same end that you rolled from before. And I found this so easy, and like you can see there are no cracks at all, but it is very, very delicate, very soft. So I just picked mine up very carefully, brought it back to the beginning of the paper, and again just rolled the whole thing up, again not too tightly. You want to refrigerate this for at least an hour, but I would say a good couple of hours, and it will firm up a good bit, letting you slice it quite easily. So after it's had its time in the fridge, get out the fridge, gently peel the paper off, and we're just going to take away those two sort of more uneven, not so pretty sides, just so that you can see the nice jam swirl inside. And those ends, obviously they will not go to waste. In fact, Mr. Watts for Tea was off with them, and you can see just how squidgy and soft that is. Put it onto a nice wee serving tray, and I'm just going to put some whipped cream on the top. This is just double cream, a wee touch of icing sugar and some vanilla, all whipped together until it goes nice and stiff. I've popped it into a piping bag, and this is a twist nozzle which I use for cupcakes, and it's a dream to use. A wee bit of icing sugar, which I should have probably put on actually before it was on the plate, but never mind. And then some hulled strawberries on the top. And let me tell you, the texture of this was insane. It was so fine and light and fluffy. Just before I move on, I wanted to say, as usual, a massive thank you to the supporters of the channel over my Patreon page, and to the channel members here on YouTube as well. And there's been a few of you in the last couple of weeks, so a very warm welcome to you. It's very much appreciated, and thank you all for watching this wee video. And if you haven't done so yet, and if you have liked the video, give the video a like on your way out, and don't forget to leave your comments as well. I just love reading your comments, and I'm also, I'm still touched after 3 years that you're here watching what I'm doing. I love making these wee videos, and I'm so glad that you like watching them as well. So do let me know if you're planning on giving this one a go, and don't be intimidated. I put this off for days because I was so worried about doing it in case it cracked and fell apart, but it really didn't. And if you're not following me over on Instagram yet, I'm Watts for Tea 3 over there, and it would be lovely to see you. So I'm going to get off now, but I will catch up with you during the week for another wee shopping haul, recipe, unboxing, or meals of the week on Sunday. But whenever you choose to join me again, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you awful soon back here on Watts for Tea. Bye now.